The most reliable dog prevents owner from being taken off life support. The reason why will make you cry. Are you prepared for an emotional roller coaster as we reveal the unbelievable story of how a dog's unflinching loyalty saved the life of its owner? What did this devoted partner notice that no one else did? The answer will astonish you. You won't believe the reason behind this miraculous act, and trust us, it will make you cry. So stay with us as we dig into the touching story of the most reliable dog. When the time came for Michael to say goodbye to his four-legged buddy, he couldn't bear the thought of parting ways. So he mustered up the courage to ask his boss if he could take Zeus home with him after retirement. And guess what? His boss actually said yes. Now you might think Zeus is a tough, fierce police dog, but in reality, he's a gentle giant with a heart full of love. He preferred cuddles over rough play and quickly became a treasured part of Michael's family. At first, some of Michael's family members had doubts about welcoming Zeus into their home, but Michael assured them that he had trained the dog himself and that Zeus was totally safe to be around. Soon enough, the family fell head over heels for Zeus, and he became just like any other beloved member of the gang. After spending some quality time together, Zeus had really grown attached to Michael. This sweet canine had been living with the family for about 3 years now, and he was like a true companion to Michael. One fine day, Michael noticed that the roof of their house needed some fixing. Being the responsible guy he is, he gathered his tools and decided to climb up onto the roof to assess the damage. But that's when things took an unexpected turn. Zeus, who had been his lovable self all along, suddenly started acting strange. He began barking and whimpering, and get this, he even tried to grab hold of Michael's pant leg to prevent him from going up on the roof. Can you believe it? Well, understandably, Michael was getting a bit frustrated with the interruption and called his wife to take Zeus inside the house. He wanted to focus on the job at hand and thought it was the best solution at that moment. However, just a few minutes later, the family heard a horrifying scream coming from the front yard. Everyone rushed outside except for Zeus, who was still inside the kitchen, and there they saw Michael lying on the grass in front of the garden, having fallen from the roof. Michael's wife was in tears, desperately calling out to him, but he wasn't responding. It was a very scary situation for everyone. Thankfully, Michael didn't suffer any serious injuries, but Zeus's quick and unusual behavior actually saved the day. He sensed that something was wrong and tried to stop Michael from going up on the roof, probably knowing that it could be dangerous. After the accident, Michael's children quickly acted and dialed the emergency number, making sure he got the help he needed. They took him to the medical clinic where specialists worked eagerly to evaluate his wounds. Fortunately, Michael didn't escape sound, yet it might have been a lot more regrettable. He wound up with a messed up arm, cuts and injuries. However, the most concerning part was his head injury. Everyone was worried that it might have caused permanent brain damage. Unfortunately, Michael fell into a coma, and despite the best efforts of the medical team, they couldn't bring him back to consciousness. It must have been incredibly tough for his family to witness him in that state, holding on to hope for his recovery. After a while in the hospital, the family decided to bring Michael back home, surrounded by familiar and comforting surroundings. They also arranged for a nurse to care for him, hoping that it would make a difference in his recovery. Back home, something amazing happened. Zeus, the loyal and caring dog that he is, was right there to greet Michael. It's as if Zeus knew that Michael needed his presence more than ever. Before that, the dog had been in such despair, howling at the thought that his owner might never return. But now, Zeus found his place at the foot of Michael's bed, hardly ever leaving his side except for essential needs. It's incredible how devoted and supportive our furry friends can be in times of need. It's been 2 long years, and Michael is still in a state of unconsciousness. His family clutches trust, petitioning God for a marvel that one day he'll awaken. As the hospital expenses began to stack up, with the expense of keeping him in the hatchery and having a medical caretaker take care of him, his family started to have an overpowered and miserable outlook on what to do. Throughout this challenging ordeal, Zeus remained a faithful companion, staying by Michael's side without fail. It's truly amazing how our furry friends can sense and provide comfort even in the toughest of times. Then something remarkable happened. During one of the doctor's visits, they noticed something intriguing about Michael. After conducting further examinations, they came to the conclusion that although Michael couldn't move or communicate, he could still sense what was happening around him. It was a glimmer of hope in an otherwise bleak situation. Amidst the anguish and uncertainty, the doctor suggested to Michael's family that it might be the most compassionate option at this stage to take off life support. It was a heart-wrenching suggestion for everyone involved, as Michael's wife saw him as her soulmate and that they had envisioned spending their lives together. Reluctantly, she agreed, thinking it might be the best way to end his suffering and bring some peace to both Michael and his loved ones. The prospect of the procedure was daunting, but the doctor assured her that a team would be sent the following day to take Michael to the hospital for the necessary arrangements. It seemed like Zeus was trying to protect Michael at all cost. As the paramedics came to take Michael to the hospital, Zeus was closely observing the situation, paying attention to every word spoken. When the paramedics entered Michael's room, things took an unexpected turn. Zeus reacted in a protective manner, barking angrily and showing his teeth, making it clear that he wouldn't let anyone get too close to his beloved owner. The emergency medical personnel were understandably cautious and hesitant to enter the room with the formidable canine guarding Michael. It was Michael's daughter who bravely intervened, dragging Zeus out of the house, thinking he might pose a threat to himself or others. With Zeus out of the way, they managed to load Michael into the ambulance and quickly rushed him to the hospital. But Zeus's loyalty and concern for Michael were unmistakable. As soon as he saw the ambulance driving away, he pulled so strongly on his leash that Michael's daughter felt compelled to follow the ambulance to the hospital. The situation was reminiscent of how Zeus acted before Michael's accident, showing extreme distress and a strong attachment to his owner. It seemed like Zeus was desperately trying to convey a message, as if he knew something was wrong and wanted to be with Michael during this critical time. Fearing that she might have made a mistake in removing Zeus from the scene, Michael's wife hurriedly drove to the animal hospital. There she found Zeus in a terrified state, dashing around, possibly worried about Michael. He sprang at the doctor, causing him to drop the euthanasia drug and call out for help. When they were just about to intervene and remove Zeus, they were all startled by a sound. It was Michael's heart rate sensor, indicating that he was still alive, but weakly pleading for them to leave the dog alone. Stunned and in awe, nobody dared to move, and that's when Zeus calmly walked past the doctor over to Michael's bedside, wagging his tail all the while. And to everyone's astonishment, Michael's wife entered the room to find her husband wide awake. It was nothing short of a miracle. After the initial shock wore off, the doctor quickly checked Michael over to make sure he was okay. Meanwhile, his wife joyfully called their children to share the wonderful news of their father's awakening. As Michael returned home from the hospital after a few weeks, Zeus was the first one to welcome him with pure excitement, showering him with licks and affection. The bond between the two was undeniable, and Michael couldn't help but laugh as he hugged his furry savior. It became evident to Michael that Zeus was the reason that he had been pulled through, as if the dog's love and loyalty had brought him back from the break. This heartwarming story serves as a beautiful reminder that our animals often know what's best for us and can be our most loyal and caring companions. It's truly an extraordinary tale of the unbreakable bond between a human and their furry friend, and a testament to the incredible instincts and love our animals possess. Sometimes all it takes is paying attention to what our pets are trying to tell us, because they truly have our best interest at heart. Thanks for watching. If this story made you feel good, don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel.